This is the Italian Real Estate Podcast, here to help you with the ins and outs and basics of Italian real estate, presented by ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Italian Real Estate Podcast, presented by ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. Of course, we are back at it again with Italian attorney Marco Permunian, and I am Rafael Di Furia. And in this episode, we wanted to talk about one of the latest initiatives from Italy that has been making its way through the news in recent weeks about Radicondoli in the province of Siena, in the region of Tuscany in Italy. This is the area where you can also find Florence. This village is about, say, an hour and 20 minutes away from Florence itself, and maybe about 50 minutes away from Siena. It has been reported widely that they will actually pay you to move there, whether you're going to be renting or purchasing a property. But Marco, can you tell us about this latest initiative in the news and what actually is the reality of this project as it currently stands?
Although this project started earlier this year, it got more media attention recently, and we wanted to talk about this in this episode because the deadline to present the application to receive the funds that are offered by this municipality to people who either purchase or rent a property is going to be December the 31st of this year. So it's important that if you are interested in submitting your application to either rent or purchase a property, that you do so by the end of the year. And as it often happens with this kind of initiatives that are highly publicized in terms of towns offering money to relocate, to move there, it is not as good as it seems or as it is indicated in the news. And in fact, in the case of this project, money is not being directly offered to move there to this town. Rather, there are incentives, financial aids that are given to people who are interested in purchasing a property or renting one. But of course, there are many requirements that need to be met, and the procedure is complex, and there are many terms that need to be respected in order to be able to maintain this kind of benefits that are being offered by this town. Let's start by focusing on the latest initiative, which has to do with offering help to people who want to rent a property in this town. And of course, the goal is to repopulate the town that has seen a decrease in the number of residents. It's a town that has roughly 1,000 people right now. And of course, the incentive is being given in order for people to not only rent a property there, but actually live there. And in fact, you need to commit to live there, to reside in this town for 4 years after you receive the financial aid from the municipality. And in fact, if you relocate somewhere else before 4 years have passed, you will lose the benefit and you will be forced to give back the money that you received. Now, regarding what you can receive by the municipality, the amount that has been made available is a portion of the rent, so not the whole rent, and it's up to 50% of your monthly rent. And the sum of money that you can receive cannot exceed 200 euros per month. So say your rent is 400 euros, you can receive 200 euros. But if your rent is 350, then you can only receive 175 euros. But then again, if your rent is higher than 400, so say it's 600 euros per month, you can only receive 200 euros per month. Furthermore, there is a limited total budget that the town has made available for this initiative. And it's also important to note that you can receive this money from the municipality only for up to 24 months. So the grand total that you could actually end up being able to receive is 4,800 euros to help you pay the rent for the property, as long, again, as you maintain your residency for 4 years in the town. There are, of course, other requirements and limits. For instance, there is a grand total that has been made available by the town, which is roughly 28,000 euros. So they will be able to provide the amounts that we just talked about to a limited number of people in case there are too many people that submit their applications. So it's important to submit your application as soon as possible if you're seriously interested in receiving this financial help from this town. And with that being said, not everybody can apply for this initiative. You need to be either an Italian citizen a European citizen or a non-European citizen, but you must have a residency permit. So if you're coming from another country, you're not an Italian citizen, you will need to have a valid residency permit in order to participate in this initiative. And also, it's mandatory to enter into a 3+2 rental agreement. So not any rental agreement will work in this case to participate in this specific initiative. So if you have a rental agreement that is shorter, it will not be possible to participate. And although it appears that at this time there are no properties for rent available in the major websites that advertise properties for rent, there are several properties available to purchase. And I wanted to mention this because there is a prior initiative started by the same municipality earlier in the year, which has to do with financial aid being given to those who want to purchase a property in this town. There is, of course, the requirement that you need to establish residency if you want to receive the funds that are made available by the municipality. And the residency needs to be established, in this case, for 10 years, so a much longer period of time. With that being said, depending on your income, you can receive up to 20,000 euros to purchase a property in this town. However, if you're deemed to have a higher income, you may only be able to receive up to 7,000 instead of up to 20,000 euros. And of course, in order to receive the financial contribution, the property needs to be purchased within the city limits, so in this specific town. And since the budget that has been made available by this town is limited, there are a number of things that may play out in your favor in case of too many applications received by the town. For instance, if you are under the age of 40, or if you have a large family, or if in your family there are elderly family members, you might be able to accrue more points, which will act in your favor and make it more likely for you to be accepted into this program. And regardless of whether you're interested in purchasing or renting, the financial contribution is given in the form of a reimbursement. So after you have rented and paid rent, or after you have purchased your property, the municipality will reimburse you the sum of money that you're entitled to. And of course, regardless of whether you're interested in buying a property or renting a property in Radicondoli, we at ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com can help you move forward quickly with this project.
Well, absolutely fantastic, Marco. And thank you so much for making yourself available for this episode of the Italian Real Estate Podcast to dive into this topic. And of course, as you mentioned, for those who may be interested in either one of these initiatives, they can contact you and your team through ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com, whether they're interested in this initiative, another initiative, or making home in Italy anywhere else in the country. And of course, for more like this, be sure that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel as well as the audio only podcast. But if you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, that does mean you're also automatically subscribed not only to the Italian Real Estate Podcast, but also to the Italian Citizenship Podcast and episodes of Ask the Italian Lawyer. All of these projects where we talk about the realities and practicalities of making Italy your home. And for more about life abroad and living abroad from the perspective of a dual citizen expat, be sure to come over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rafael Di Furia, or you can search for Not Your Average Globetrotter. But again, we have been here with Italian attorney Marco Permunian from ItalianRealEstateLawyers.com. I'm Rafael Di Furia. Stay safe and healthy out there, and we will see you all next time. Thank you.
Thank you.